Hello and welcome back for another episode with your favorite project lead the way teacher, Mr. Spaeth. Today we are going to learn how to take a photo and make an extrusion of a sketch we make out of it for our bathroom pass project. So what I will do is share my screen with you and go through the steps that I would take to do that. So first of all, what I would want to do is start a new sketch. Start a new file, standard inch file, create it, and then I would start a 2D sketch on the XY plane. From here, what we want to use is the image command. And the image command is going to ask us to find an image and place it on our sketch. So let's find an image. Milwaukee Brewers symbol. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to right-click on the symbol that I find in Google. I'm going to click Save Image As. And here's where I want to put it. I want to put it right on my file, right on my thumb drive. I don't want to put it on the desktop. I want to put it right on my file. Let's start a new folder. And let's call it Bathroom Pass. And I'm going to place the Brewers logo right in here. Okay. So now in Autodesk Inventor, what I do is I go to Image, and I am going to go to my thumb drive and find the Bathroom Pass folder and the Brewers logo, and then notice it may be quite big. And it is. Okay. Now I can grab it from the middle and place it wherever I want to. If I grab the edges, I can make it bigger or smaller. I can also rotate at the same time. So make sure you are being very careful here. Now, the bathroom pass that I want to make is going to be a rectangle that is 3 inches by 2 inches. So obviously my picture is much bigger than that, right? So I need to grab from the corner, one of the corners that allows me to resize it, and resize it until it fits into my box. So still too big. But I would say that's about good. I'm not using my full 3-inch width here. So again, these are just guidelines. And so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to move this and erase it now. I know that the picture that I make is going to be just about the right size. So there's my picture, all sized correctly. I can even put some dimensions on there if I really want to. I could go 2 inches. And then whatever this ends up being, I really don't care. Okay. So there we're good. Now what I want to do is I want to trace around this MB, this ball and glove, so that I have a nice outline of this picture. Now, there are some places that are straight, like right here. That's a straight line. And some places that are circular. This looks like a really easy circular line to make. I can take shapes and see if I can match feature. It doesn't need to be perfect. It doesn't need to be constrained, but I do want to get it close. Okay, so I'd say that's pretty close. A couple of things I would want to do from here then would be make this line, and let's say, I'm just going to zoom in because zooming in really helps it attach to the outside of that photo. So I'm just going to zoom in maybe right here and click. And then I want to click somewhere on that circle so that they are together. What I don't want is what I just did, actually. You'll see my lines don't go right into one another. They kind of overlap and they make this little hole right over here, this nice little hole. That won't extrude. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the tangent constraint and I'm just going to make these two tangent. Now that hole is gone. And it's just attached at one point. That will, an Autodesk Inventor will allow us to extrude that. It won't allow us to extrude something that has a hole in it like that, like what I had before. So the other thing that I would do is take an interpolation spline is the one that we're going to use. And then starting at our endpoints, what I'm going to do is I'm going to click, again, trying not to hit, I'm going to purposely avoid that area right there. I'm going to zoom in really big and just start clicking around the edges. Notice it's making a pretty neat line for me. And this may take a little bit. Ooh, again, I don't want that edge, so I'm just going to get real close to it, but not quite hit it. And when you're zoomed in that much, you're never going to see that. It does kind of stink that the corners that they make aren't very crisp here, but that's okay. So I'm just going to go all the way around, clicking into the corner as best that I can. That helps get rid of some of that radius mark that they put on there. It does kind of stink that that plus and check mark kind of gets in my way every now and then, but that's just how it is. You got to work around it. So zoom in the best you can, find those edges without clicking on the side of the picture. And where I want to end up is I want to end up on the circle, not after it, on it. Okay, so one click there, and now I want to be on the circle. So I'm going to click on the circle, end it. I'm going to click create. And now you'll notice I'm all the way around my ball and glove. Now, I don't need this inside part of the circle, so I'm going to see if I can trim that. It will let me trim that, okay? So now I should have a complete path around this ball and glove logo. If I don't, then Autodesk Inventor is not going to let me extrude that. So if there's any little gaps, anything that you can see to help make sure that all these points are connected in a complete loop, that's what you need to do. I run into a lot of problems dealing with that. One thing you can do is right-click and go to Sketch Doctor, and Sketch Doctor will look at all those lines and tell you if there are any gaps and help you close them. All right, so I'm going to finish and see if this extrudes. Hit the extrude button, and there it does. I'm going to extrude it to 0.25, and there is my ball and glove. Now, let's say I wanted some other features in here, like the actual M and the B and the ball. I can go back into the sketch, right-click, and go Share Sketch. And now my picture is still there. I'd have to wheel it around. I'm looking at the backside now, but the picture is still there. So that's nice because I can start another sketch on this surface again. So the same surface I was before. And now I can sketch other features. So maybe I take a circle and I try to get the ball perfectly circled. And again, it may not be perfect, but I just want to get it close. There's that portion. So now what I could do is finish, extrude that. I can see the little circle right there. And maybe what I do is I extrude that to 0.30. And now notice it's just proud of the surface that I made before. And I can change these surfaces up. Maybe I don't like that it juts out so far, so maybe this one is 0.2. This one will have that 0.25. Just making different layers that I can then use to print out and make something that looks nice. So I hope you enjoyed this. I hope that it was useful to you. If you have any questions, please ask me. It can be really tough to get these extrusions done from all those little line clicks, but use Sketch Doctor. Try it out your best. If you can't, please ask your instructor. I hope this is helpful. Thank you so much.